Folks, sometimes as a baker, home baker or professional, sometimes even just as a cook, you find yourself with a surplus of an ingredient that you're just not really a big user of or not a big fan of. For me this week, that was apricot jam. And therefore, I'm bringing you this lovely, super quick, simple recipe for Sachertorte Brownies. Well, this cake is famous all throughout continental Europe. If this is your first time trying it, your first time hearing about it, it's a super famous chocolate cake of Austrian origin, which is kind of coated with a thin chocolate glaze like a ganache and always has a very slick and skinny apricot jam filling. While it's not my favourite chocolate cake of them all, I like everything as heavy and chocolatey as physically possible, and apricot jam just isn't really my jam. It's a classic for a reason. And when you have dark chocolate and apricot jam in the house and my constant supply of butter, why not make it into something even tastier? Dense, rich, fudgy, velvety chocolate brownies that you can make with either dark or milk chocolate, depending on how intense you like that flavour, swirled and marbled with sweet, chunky apricot jam for that real touch of sacher with none of the dreaded dryness. Let's get to it.
As every good brownie begins, we begin with butter and chocolate. As I said, dark or milk, depending on the intensity you like. And you're just going to want to melt these together gently in the microwave or in a kind of bain-marie style. Then you're going to want to whisk together 3 whole eggs and some sugar, not until they're fluffy or anything, just until they're combined and nothing is particularly lumpy. We don't really want to add any air in here because we want our brownies to stay nice and even and fudgy. To that, you're going to add the ever so slightly cold chocolate and butter mix and just whisk it all together. Again, nothing particularly strenuous here, just making sure it gets all nice and combined evenly into this gorgeous looking mixture, to which we're going to add our dry ingredients, which is plain or 00 flour, some cocoa powder and some salt. Just bung it all in there. If you're feeling truly professional and full of effort, do whisk or sieve that together to make your life a bit easier. And again, mix this in just until it's combined. We don't want to develop any air or any chewy gluten, just until it's all even out. Prepare your tin with a little bit of greasing up and some greaseproof paper, enough that you have little handles to pull the brownies out with afterwards. Even it all out inside the tin and then grab your apricot jam. You'll probably need like 1/3 to half a jar, I would say, of apricot jam. You're just going to want to kind of splodge and dollop it all over the top before swirling and marbling it through. Not too much because we want to kind of keep the two textures separate, but just enough so there aren't just big globs sitting on top. And now it's time to get it in the oven. Brownies are always best baked low and slow, so I give these around 40 to 45 minutes at 140 degrees Celsius until it is nice and even and there's no wobble left in the middle. You're going to want to leave these to cool completely, ideally even with a little bit of time in the fridge to give that proper pastry counter Sachertorte hit. Hope you guys enjoyed this one every bit as much as I have.